We're going to be talking about entrenching tools, also called e-tools. For just one tool, these are really useful. They perform a lot of different tasks. I've got three here. This is the cold steel Spetsnaz shovel. I believe they call it a Superka. It doesn't look the way it comes from the factory. I've modified it. I've painted it and sharpened it and done a few things. We've done a customized sheath with it. Here we have the Ames e-tool, which has been around in the United States military for quite a time. A lot of people are familiar with it. And then the current issue is the Gerber. So I want to compare a few things about them and show you my thoughts, and it's strictly my humble opinion. Ultimately, it's whatever serves you best as an individual, because we all utilize our tools in different ways. I'll start with the cold steel. It has a fixed wooden handle that's secured by these screws. These handles can break. I have a scar here on my forearm. I was chopping down a tree with this exact shovel, and the handle broke and rotated back and stuck in my forearm. Was I overtaxing the tool? Yeah, I was. But at least I know where the breaking point's at. So, but for chopping, this shovel is really nice. If you need to clear something, this is awesome. I really like it for that. It's balanced. If you need to slice, chop, use it in a self-defense type capacity, this would be an awesome weapon to use. You could char out, you'd use it as a lightning rod. You could char out a log and use it as an adze to scrape down if you needed to hollow out a container. It could be used as a boat paddle. I know people that throw these pretty accurately. Maybe you could use it in lieu of a throwing stick against small game. I think it's best as a weapon, and I think it's best as a chopper. As a shovel, I kind of favor the other two, but you can modify the wood handle in long-term situations to fit your needs. So there's some thoughts about that. The Gerber, which is the current issue, I'm pretty new to this, but I like it. It has only two positions. It has the fixed position, like you would expect. It has a forward position, which differs somewhat from the Ames, and I'm going to go ahead and pull it up and show you. This is the Ames, and they usually are marked US on one side and then Ames with the year. That one's an 81 model on the other. So as you break these over into the forward position, you notice a difference. With the Ames, you have a 90-degree angle, nearly a 90-degree angle. With the new Gerber, it's a more forward angle. And what I ran into while using this is almost too much of an angle here on the Gerber, because it would glance off of things, and I wasn't quite getting the purchase that I wanted. The handle's comfortable enough, but it only has the two positions. With the Ames, which I'm kind of thinking might be my personal favorite here, there's a lot of positions. So let's go over this one. We start off, you have what is a conventional shovel. Notice the point is a little more pronounced than the head on either the Gerber or the Superka. So it works more in biting deep. It actually works against rock. I've chipped on granite and other stones with this, and it hasn't really damaged the edge. I have sharpened it all the way around. I used a chainsaw file, and that's one advantage to this saw. You have this serration. So even if it's dull, you have something that's going to bite, it's going to shear through if you need to chop through something like, say, rope. If you held it in this fashion and needed to saw, it could be used that way. And it chops pretty well also. We'll go after a few limbs here with it. No issues there. It's a chopper. You can put it into this particular angle, which I found useful as a lever to put under a stone or a large log. If you needed to lift it, just place your foot here, up it goes, and you can pull your saw through the wood without getting into the ground. So that might have some application, maybe in a breaching type capacity. And it'll go to the forward angle that you saw before, almost a 90-degree angle. And in that position, I really like the handle here. It's smooth. And let's assume that I had one hand out of play for whatever reason. If I'm injured, I'm still able to dig using that one-handed operation. That would be hard to do with the cold steel model. Also, this could be used as a seat. After a long day of shoveling, a man gets tired. And I've sat on this for a long time, sitting around camp, and then all of a sudden, if you need to, you can just stand up, fold it up, and go. So it works as that way. Also, you can go here to this angle. Attach your rope here, and now you have a grappling hook with which you could pull down limbs like those in that pine up there if I wanted some of those dry dead limbs, or if you needed to get over an obstacle. So as far as utility, I have to give a slight edge to the Ames out of all of them. Though I do like both the cold steel and the Gerber, but if I could only carry one, I think I'm leaning toward this one. Also, this angle enables you to grab it with two hands, squat down, and you're able to dig a trench. Pretty balanced without fatiguing your muscles. So all things considered, some of the aluminum in this, the parts that are aluminum, actually are better than aircraft grade aluminum. What I was told about these is they're on par with NASA, what they put on the space shuttle. These are very well made tools by the Ames Corporation. So we'll do a little bit of digging. So we've got this hole that I've started working on. It's going to be a fire pit, maybe a underground oven at some point. So obviously with the cold steel model, having this forward angle is not an option. I have to use it in this configuration, or I have to take the screws out, go carve a stick that has a 90-degree or wet one and bend it. So let's see how it performs. Get down in our hole here. Usually the technique that I have to do is I get on the end of the handle in here and use a stabbing motion. You can kind of see how that's going. Stab and pull. Okay. And then obviously to remove the material like so. Or if I had one hand, you can choke up on it, come here and get your material. So it does perform well, and it's good as a chopper as well. And if the handle did break, I know I've got this one painted, but the handle, the metal tang stops and interfaces with the handle right about here. So if you had no handle at all, you still do have enough meat on there that you can hold it. You could use it as a knife, you could use it to chop. You could still get by with some digging. You'd lose some leverage. But I think that's a good design feature. So that one out of the way, we'll go with the Gerber. That's really moving some material. And you're hearing these stones that I'm hitting. There's a lot of rocks in this ground. I'm going to change it over to the spade configuration and we'll remove some of this material. It works well. It works well one-handed. There's no hot spots on this shovel. This doesn't blister me anywhere, and it could also be used one-handed if you had to. That's a nice tool. Now to the Ames. Kind of performs on par with the Gerber, but it has the added benefit of the other positions that I talked about. It seems to move the most dirt the easiest in this configuration, and in the one-handed position it works well. There is one hot spot. These corners do tend to get to the hand if you hold it down in this area. But that's really the only critique I have about it. So between those three, make your choice.